Awesome. Wonderful. Hey, everybody, we're here today. This is Jynafer Yanez from Wolfpack Entertainment. Here with me, we're here together, is William Hellmuth, director, cinematographer extraordinaire. And we're really excited to be gabbing a bit today about our upcoming film project. So, Will just, is joining us from a recent venture across the pond. So, are you adjusted to our time zone here?
I'm dialed in. Yeah, I'm good. It's it's always a little bit of a yeah, recovering from that jet lag it can be rough, but it kind of helped that as soon as I got back, I just had lots to do. So I just kind of had no
Good.
choice but to, jump right back into real life. So that's good.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Good. I'm so glad. And that's one of the things that we really are enjoying to learn and work with you, Will, is that you're a beast. You go, you travel, you were packing up and you were filming and then you left, you came back and you jumped right into it. I know you were filming earlier today. So we're grateful for this time. And as we're getting closer now, 2 weeks into our Kickstarter, our fundraising portion of our project, Jonathan and I just came back from Comic-Con as well. And it was an awesome opportunity to talk with everyone there about the book series. We're stoked about it. We know that the series has sold, almost 250,000 copies, and fans, readers love it. They're giving it great reviews. Like, they don't have to, but they do. The feedback they give is just outstanding. But when we get to share that and see it face to face at events, it's humbling and it blows my mind, honestly.
Yeah.
So you got the opportunity to listen to the audiobook, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
How was that?
And it was great. I mean, I loved it. As soon as you guys first talked to me about this project, that was kind of the, thing number one for me to do. Sit down, listen to the audiobook, really get a feel for, because it's a different experience. You know, listening to this book where you can kind of hear the inner monologue and stuff of your character, the things that you maybe don't uh, always see as obviously in a screenplay. So being able to really listen to that, like it was great, and I mean it really hooks you. Jonathan's style in this book just really puts you inside of Daniel's head in a way that is very compelling, and I felt a lot of this just uh, almost like film noir kind of grit, and inner conflict
Mm,
with Daniel that I just found very compelling, and the idea of being able to bring that, to life, in a film format it's exciting. So yeah, it was it's great. It's a book that just really does it moves and it keeps you excited about what's happening next. But more than that, you really feel with uh, with Daniel, and that's I think that's really the most important part, you know. So
yes.
yeah.
I
Hmm.
agree with you that his stuff moves so fast that
Hmm.
it could feel as though it's so superficial and action
Hmm.
oriented that you might miss out on having any compassion and getting to know the
Hmm.
characters. But somehow in there, within fewer words, right, he doesn't
Hmm.
wax poetic on the background of a character and tell you how you should feel. Rather, he lets you know inside of them, or he has these
Hmm.
reveals of these nuances, and next thing you know, you're rooting for these guys like Daniel
Hmm.
Hunt. He could be a throwaway, hard edged, savage of a character
Hmm.
who's really good at fighting. Oh, just, and you can think, oh, this is just a born supremacy or born identity in space, but it
Hmm.
becomes so much more as the scenes and the reveals take
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting because I feel like one of the things, I wouldn't call it a struggle, one of the things we're working on balancing with the screenplay is
Mhm.
that um, what do we put in that short film, because it moves so
Yeah.
fast and we can quickly find ourselves so many scenes and fights later that,
Hmm.
okay, how do how do we slow this down a little bit for
Yeah.
the screen? And that's something I feel you are exceptional at. One of your most popular films is Alone. Is that one of your
Mhm.
most popular, or is that just
Yeah,
one of my
yeah,
personal
that.
favorites?
Oh, I mean, it could be both. I don't know, but yeah, that's the
Okay.
old like that is yeah, that's definitely the my most popular so far. A short film that played in some solid festivals, had a really a good run there, and we're at over 600,000 views on YouTube now, which is respectable. It's good, it's solid. And it's gotten distribution, which has been kind of cool to see. So it's kind of gone around the world, which is great. And that one it's very character based. It's just all about getting into the main character's head. The whole thing is basically a conversation between two people. So yeah, but
Right, and it's 18
yeah.
minutes, right?
It's about 20
Yeah, so
minutes. Yeah.
even
Hmm.
yeah, so within that 18 to 20 minutes, just a character between
Hmm.
or a conversation between two people, so much transpires and you don't feel that it lags. Like you're like, okay, well that's nice. They've been monologuing for so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
So I think that will be great to bring
Hmm.
to Forsaken Mercenary, that moves so fast,
Yeah.
to find that balance in there and carve out those moments between characters and building up
Hmm.
tension. I love thrillers. I didn't know this about myself,
Yeah.
and I know it's a silly thing to say, like, how do you not know this about yourself? But I have an eclectic taste overall. I read, I'm reading Jack Reacher and I'm reading
Oh, nice.
Jane Eyre. So I'm reading
Yeah.
nonfiction and I'm reading Paradise Lost. So when it comes
Hmm.
to books, I'm all over the place. But have found that, like, when I go back to the thriller, even the older
Hmm.
thrillers,
Hmm.
Dorothy Sayers or Agatha Christie, I'll do those as well. And
Hmm.
in TV shows or film as well, it's the biggest genre for a reason. It's so
Hmm.
compelling. It doesn't take, if done well, it doesn't take much to just keep you enthralled into the next scene and the next beat.
Yeah.
So that mixed with what you were saying, that noir, or as we go into sci-fi, that neo noir, neon noir,
Right.
I think it'll be a lot of fun to do that too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be a blast. I'm really excited about it. And you have a really good eye for story and kind of what how to bring different elements together that work, just from our conversations and stuff. And it's I've honestly been surprised how often we're just kind of clicking like right on the same page with like, oh, like this is really working great and all that, or thing directions that we would like to move stylistically and everything, even like it's cool. So I feel like there's just a lot of potential for really good world building here, and ways to kind of to draw out meaning and atmosphere. So yeah, it's exciting. It's going to be good.
That's a great point. I guess
Mhm.
I didn't really explain that. So William has experience directing and behind the camera and always. So my background has been in commercials, so advertising
Mhm.
behind the camera. And so while I can produce the heck out of anything, I have had given some art direction on
Mhm.
set for different things I did commercially. So while this feels like a project safe to keep my arms around, I asked Will if he'd be comfortable if we did this more as a co-direct. And bless his heart,
Mhm.
he said maybe. he said he said with sincere trepidation,
Mhm.
how are we going to do this? And I said, we'll figure it out. Like, I don't have
Yeah.
any ego in this. I'm here to learn, and sometimes, and most of the time, the best way to learn is to jump in, right, and make those
Mhm.
mistakes. But because I care so much about the story and and the fans, the viewers, and everybody involved. And I respect Will as an artist and technician and all of that, that it'll be great for us, I think, to collaborate and bring those strengths together. Had the opportunity to work with him, in a different capacity on our first film, Infinity System, which I don't know if you saw, that edging, I think, towards 15,000 views. It was just posted a couple of weeks ago. So, that we're excited for that. We want to grow up and be like Alone with 600,000 views by next time.
You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. No, and we're all always learning, and that's kind of what you had mentioned. You always I'm also excited to to learn, and I think that's the attitude to have, especially when you're going into a partnership like this, co-directing together. Is you want to bring your knowledge, you want to bring what you can offer to the table, but also stop and listen to each other and see what you can learn constantly, and that so it's it's
Right.
not, I'm included in that too. So I'm excited to just see how it all goes. I mean, I learn something on every single project I make, and I hope I hope that never changes, So yeah.
Right. I was watching a Hollywood roundtable with a few big directors, and one of the ones I was excited to see on there, because I think you said that was someone who inspires you, was Ridley Scott.
Oh yeah.
Is that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Big
and
fan.
So, yeah. Man, that man is a savage.
Yeah.
He talked about, his little limited experience, not limited. He had experience, but not from that capacity. And then all of a sudden I think he did some commercial stuff and then just did a ton of it. So he, banged out a whole bunch of mistakes, like you said, and learned so much that by the time he was doing features, he was like, we're just going to go for it. You want to talk this through? I don't want to spend time talking it through. Roll camera, show me how it can go, performer, like actor, bring what you have, and let's just see if it works. We'll see it on camera, on film or whatnot. And if it doesn't, we'll see it on the editing room floor, So
that's right.
Just try it. We don't have to talk about it unless we need to sort some of it out. But that was something where he was like,
well, that's the cool thing about directing, I think, is there are as many ways to direct as there are directors. Obviously, there are directors who aren't so good and some that are better, but really, none of the great directors, if you were to sit on set and watch them, you wouldn't see them doing the same things necessarily. And so it's really about finding your artistic method and your voice and just running into that or running with that.
Right.
So anyway,
running away from it. No, I'm just kidding. Abandon all hope.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
What are some of the things that you might say about your current style? It's an evolving, growing thing. So share a little bit about that.
Yeah. So at my core, it's funny because I feel like sometimes like I'm a little bit of a contradiction. I love genre films, sci-fi, fantasy, period films. Like my latest short film is a Civil War short. That's just it has a world premiere tomorrow, so we're just starting our festival run. So I love diving into these other either historic periods or imaginary places in time and space and stuff. But what really fascinates me about that isn't the spectacle, the visual effects, the Marvel style kind of, I don't want to get in trouble here, but like the big action scenes and stuff like that. But I love the quiet moments, like characters kind of living life and being just people in these extraordinary circumstances and environments. And so I love trying to find those character beats and drawing out these authentic performances from actors and really, giving them kind of a foundation and an environment where they can really create something meaningful and true within this fantasy world. Because to me, that's what's really exciting is humanity, and seeing humanity be humanity in kind of extreme environments that are, because a lot of times when we're talking fantasy or period films, a lot of those are in harsher environments than we live in now. And seeing humanity kind of thrive and flourish and all that kind of stuff, or seeing people wrestle and grapple with the same things that maybe we do in our core, to me it's just really fascinating. It's very cool. So that's what I really like to do. I guess it's not so much a style, but more just what I've found I really like to hone in on. And then when it comes to things like visual style and stuff like that, that's very it can change with every film.
Right.
It all comes back to the characters and the spine of the film. What are we really trying to do with this? And then from that, we can sit down and talk about production design, cinematography, costumes, and everything, and let everything kind of leap from that base, if that makes sense. So yeah, so stylistically, I am naturally very, very visual, and I really like trying to create iconic images. Ridley Scott is very, very, very good at that. Another director who I think is actually kind of underrated in that regard is George Lucas. Obviously everyone knows who he is. I'm not saying he's some sort of indie filmmaker,
Who
but
are we talking about again? I don't know that I'm familiar. George?
Yeah, yeah. But he really, if you look at all of his Star Wars films, he really, love him or hate him, he finds these he creates iconic imagery, and he does it very well. And I find that kind of still life idea really fascinating. So I try to always find a few little beats or moments where I can create these single images where if you see this one image here, it's gonna kind of encapsulate the experience of the film in this one shot or something.
Yes, absolutely. It's almost
But
like the aesthetic, right? What's
mhm,
the aesthetic? What's that moment that
yeah,
where it's like if you had to create one page of a concept art
mhm,
and then get to see it in live action, or
yeah,
in those moments, right? It's like you close your eyes and you could see particular scenes from the we'll say for the original trilogy. We'll start
sure,
there because right there's just press pause, and in your mind you know exactly what to see. There's certain contrasts, or there's
mhm,
certain warm tones that just Luke on the sand
yeah,
looking in the distance, those hallway scenes on the destroyers and all of that
mhm,
stuff, and in the
mhm,
white and the bright and the yeah, absolutely
yeah,
will. I feel like
yeah,
that those moments really just I mean, I hate to use these terms, but their aesthetic, their vibes, like
yeah,
they feel, they evoke a visceral emotion for
mhm,
each of those in one way or another, and you know it. There are
mhm,
colors, there are like that shiny black on the helmet, like
yep,
to this day what it's tied to, and there are things in your brain, and that's just your right is that your left brain can't explain what that right brain is
yep,
experiencing, and it resonates deep within you,
mhm,
and you don't know why, but it's like
yeah,
living rent free in your mind, right? And
yeah,
it's there,
mhm,
and it's wonderful, right? You don't have to do that. I heard that the Mad Max director, whose name I'm forgetting, but that he doesn't do script first. Like it's all just storyboard of these
yep,
mega crazy moments and scenes. So
yep,
he's all visual.
mhm,
Yeah. And
which is
I
great.
think that's one of the reasons why I'm enjoying this aspect of our storytelling journey. Like, we
Yeah.
know, Jonathan and I, like, what our purposes and why we're doing it and why we're coming up with this content. I love to read. I struggle with writing, but
Hmm.
when I'm writing, I'm more trying to convey what I'm seeing visually already in my mind. So to
Hmm.
do this, I feel I get, I don't get
Yeah.
the other stuff, but I get it more. It's easier, comes more naturally, I suppose. So to
Hmm.
be able to, like we said, we're creating emotions and feelings. We're telling these stories because I want folks to walk away with a certain sense. And
Yeah.
whether I think you had said, like, the sense of the people we're working with on set, or the sense of the people who were watching the content, where it's all
Mhm.
storytelling, but it's a certain kind of storytelling. And again, for us, it's all been all about that hope, that hope of
Mhm.
humanity, that hope of there's still good, that hope of what can come, the hope of overcoming a certain odds, and that hope of, like, for whatever darkness, it's not Pollyanna, whatever grief,
Mhm.
whatever hardships is in the world, if you're spending time watching or reading this, so you're going to walk away with a good sense of hope or
Mhm.
encouragement, right? Because it's not
Yeah.
over. And this short, yeah, Daniel's story is certainly not over after this one film. But
Mhm.
it's like, it's that staring off into that distance of, like, yeah, life, I'm coming for you. So yeah, so that's what I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing with
That's
this,
great.
and what that's going to sound like too, with whatever our composer comes up with for those moments.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great. So, Will, if somebody wanted to learn a little bit more about you, I can go ahead and I'll post the links in the
Great.
description with these videos and the comments.
Mhm.
So, you want to, for anyone solely listening, you want to tell them where they can check out your work?
Sure. I mean, you can check out my website. It has my cinematography work on it. It's just my name, williamhellmuth.com.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can watch I believe there's a link to my short film on my website. But if you get on YouTube and just search Alone Dust, Dust is the platform it's on, then it'll pop right up and you'll see it. And my name is there too in the description as the director. So you'll know it's the one. Um,
The one.
and yep. Yeah, there's actually another film on the same platform called Alone that got uploaded like a year after ours. So it's kind of funny. But
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
know. Yeah. So you might just look for my name to make sure it's the right Alone. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean that my website has everything there. It's just
Perfect.
williamhelmuth.com. That's it. Yeah.
Great. And then if anyone is interested in being a part of this journey for Forsaken Mercenary to be filmed later this year, you can check out the Kickstarter page. We have lots of details there, a little more background information on the story in terms of the book series, and what the film is more about. We're still working out the final shooting script and
Mhm.
budget and all that fun stuff. So get your name in on there. You can pledge any amount
Yeah.
that you're interested in or that makes sense for your family, but it's definitely free to share with a friend or family member who is
Mhm.
a fan of science fiction thriller, and just content you can feel good about sharing with your mom, even. So, we have some really cool rewards up there because we wanted everyone
Mhm.
to be part of this journey. It's a very communal type of event.
Yeah.
So we're
And
looking forward to. Oh, go ahead.
oh yeah. I just wanted to jump in real quick. Also, just since we're talking about the Kickstarter and people pledging and stuff, and just say just a quick, you know, big thank you to everybody who's pledged so far, and
Mm,
just how meaningful that is, for myself and obviously you guys, just the whole team, and I know we're excited to really make the most of every pledge, and I think it's going to be great, and also just while I'm at it, while I'm thanking people,
Mm-hmm.
Jynafer, just thanking you for calling me up about this. So I'm it's really exciting to me. So yeah.
You can't see me, but I'm smiling really big right now. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think there's a reason that certain people kind of work together again. Like when you have a good thing going on, right?
Mhm.
When you have a good rapport,
Mhm.
that's, like you don't want to mess that up. And just everything jives so well
Yeah.
for our last film. And again, like your talent, your work, all that was so outstanding. It's like, well, heck yeah, we want to work with Will again. So yeah, I'm glad you answered that call, that text.
For
And you
sure.
weren't yeah, you weren't off like, well, I'm super busy for the next 5 years. So no, but yeah, you're right.
No.
Thank you to everybody. We've already surpassed our initial
Mhm.
goal, and at this point, we want to keep the funds going because that allows us just to be bigger and better. But even as it is, it's already, I know it's going to be fantastic. We're going to have a fantastic team, and we've got an amazing vision, and obviously Jonathan has given us a fabulous story. So we look forward to connecting with everyone, and leave posts in the comments, and we'll respond to every question and every comment. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day.